something's brewing in Los Angeles, and it's not just the usual off-season rumors. There's a real shift happening behind the scenes with the Lakers, and it all seems to have kicked into high gear right after Luka Doncic put pen to paper and committed long-term. That one signature might have just changed the entire trajectory of the franchise's short-term plans. Because up until then, everything felt like it was on standby, cautious planning, short-term thinking, waiting to see what kind of cards the front office would be dealt. But now it feels like the Lakers have gone from waiting mode to full throttle. We're hearing from multiple league sources that the Lakers are finally willing to embrace long-term salary if it means getting the right piece. That's a big change. Historically, this franchise hasn't exactly loved tying themselves to contracts unless they were superstar caliber names. But the vibe now is different. It's not about just taking on money to take on money. It's about identifying the right players, those who can genuinely elevate this team to another level, and being willing to make a real investment. And one name that keeps popping up more and more in that conversation is Andrew Wiggins. Just a few weeks ago, the thought of Wiggins to the Lakers felt like a stretch, maybe something that could happen if everything lined up just right. But now it's being talked about as a real possibility. What changed? Well, for starters, Luka's extension gave the Lakers confidence, not just in their roster, but in their direction. That job's done mentality you sometimes worry about after landing a franchise cornerstone hasn't taken over. Instead, it's as if they've been given the green light to keep pushing, to keep adding, and to build something truly dangerous. That's what makes the Wiggins chatter so interesting, because it's not just about his fit, it's about timing and value. Right now, Wiggins might feel like an overpay. His contract, his inconsistent performance, his fit in Golden State, all of that makes him a bit of a gamble at the current price tag. But come trade deadline time, that's when things really start to shift. That's when teams like Miami start looking to dump salary, when rotations settle, when reality hits and franchises start pivoting to the future. That's when Wiggins could suddenly become a steal if the Lakers play their cards right. Rob Pelinka knows this. If there's one thing we've learned from his time running the Lakers, it's that he plays the long game. He waits for the right moment. And more often than not, his patience pays off. We saw it during the Russell Westbrook situation. Everyone wanted a quick fix. Fans were calling for drastic moves. But Pelinka waited. He didn't just chase a name. He waited for the right opportunity. And that patience brought in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. It reshaped the season and turned a team headed for disaster into a conference final squad. Now, to be clear, the Lakers aren't in crisis. They've got Luka, they've got LeBron, they've got Anthony Davis, and they've got a supporting cast that, on paper, looks like it could be one of the most balanced rosters they've had in years. But the reality is, paper doesn't win championships. Fit does. Chemistry does. And more than anything, flexibility does. And that's why you don't just rush into a trade. You let the season breathe. You see who steps up. Does Jared Vanderbilt take a leap? Does Rui Hachimura finally put it all together? Can Jake LaRavia carve out a real role? Because if those guys start producing at a high level, then the Lakers are in a position of strength. It's the difference between needing a trade and wanting one. And that difference matters. When you're desperate, teams smell it. They know you're cornered. They ask for more. They hold you hostage. But when you're comfortable, when your young guys are clicking, when your team is winning games, suddenly you're dealing from a position of leverage. That's when you can call Miami about Wiggins and say, hey, we're good either way. But if you want to talk, let's talk. That's when the price drops. That's when value shows up. So yeah, Wiggins makes sense. He brings the length, the defensive versatility, the playoff experience. He's proven. He's battle-tested. You know what you're getting. But the Lakers don't have to make that move today. They can wait. They can assess. They can look at the market as it develops and strike when the conditions are perfect. That's what smart front offices do. And lately, the Lakers have been acting like a smart front office. But let's be honest, it's not just about Wiggins. He's just one name in a sea of potential fits. Miles Bridges could hit the market. Maybe someone like Marcus Smart becomes available if things go south in Memphis. Maybe there's a surprise name we're not even talking about yet. There always is. Every trade deadline has that one guy who suddenly becomes the hot target. And the Lakers, with their expiring contracts and young pieces, are going to be right in the middle of those conversations. That's why the front office is staying aggressive. Not reckless, not impulsive, aggressive. There's a difference. It's about exploring every option, calling every team, checking in on every disgruntled player, every unhappy agent, every front office that might be ready to reset. And when the right name pops up, when the right price hits the table, pulling the trigger. Because again, this is not a rebuild. This is not a franchise hoping to be relevant in 3 years. This is a championship window right now. LeBron James isn't getting any younger. Anthony Davis needs help. Luka Doncic is locked in, but you still need to maximize his early years in purple and gold. The time is now, and that's why patience is only part of the equation. The other part is timing, because sometimes the right deal doesn't wait until February. Sometimes it's there in October or November. And if it is, you take it. You don't hesitate. Because the difference between a team that makes a deep playoff run and one that flames out in the first round often comes down to that one move. That one extra piece that pushes the roster over the edge. The Lakers know this. They've seen both sides of it. They've seen what happens when you wait too long. And they've seen what happens when you jump at the right moment. That's what the Russell Westbrook trade taught them. That's what the D'Angelo Russell return taught them. That's what getting Luka and DeAndre Ayton taught them. And now, heading into another crucial season, they're putting that knowledge to work. So keep an eye on the Lakers. Not just for the blockbuster move, but for the subtle ones. The quiet calls. The groundwork being laid for something bigger. Because if there's one thing that's clear right now, it's that Rob Pelinka and this front office aren't sitting still. They're watching. They're listening. They're waiting for the right moment. And when it comes, they're going to pounce. And while the Lakers continue monitoring the trade landscape, there's also a lot of internal evaluation happening behind closed doors. This team knows that before you start moving pieces around the board, you need to understand what you already have. That's where this upcoming stretch of the season becomes crucial. It's not just about chasing names. It's about letting the current roster show what they're made of. The front office is looking at this like a long runway. You give the group time, you give rotations a chance to settle, and you let your young guys either rise to the occasion or expose the gaps that need to be filled. Only then do you really know what kind of trade is needed, or if you even need one at all. That's why names like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura matter so much right now. Reeves, in particular, is walking into a season with more eyes on him than ever. After his breakout campaign and strong playoff run, he's no longer the underdog. He's now expected to perform at a high level consistently. And how he meshes with Luka and LeBron is going to dictate a lot of the front office's next steps. If the chemistry works and Reeves thrives in a third option role, that's huge. But if there's friction, or if the spacing just doesn't feel right, don't be surprised if Reeves becomes part of a bigger conversation closer to the deadline. Not because the Lakers don't value him, but because they understand the importance of fit in a title run. Same goes for Rui. He had stretches last season where he looked like a high-level contributor, especially during the second half. But then playoff time came around, and he struggled. Now the question is, can he bounce back? Can he become the consistent, two-way forward that this team really needs? If he does, then again, you're in a position of strength. But if not, his name could very well end up in trade discussions, especially with guys like Jake LaRavia and Vanderbilt pushing for bigger roles. This team is loaded with flexible pieces, and it's all going to come down to who can step up and earn their spot. That internal competition is healthy. It creates urgency, and it forces players to stay locked in, but also gives the Lakers more options. Because if someone like LaRavia surprises everyone and earns a real rotational role, that gives you leverage in trade talks. Now you can move off someone else, or package LaRavia if a star becomes available. It's all about positioning. It's all about options. And the Lakers have more of those than people realize. Their expiring contracts alone are going to be gold at the deadline. You got a mix of veterans and role players whose deals are perfectly built for a salary match. That kind of flexibility means the Lakers don't have to force anything. They can wait, watch the league unfold, and then strike when the moment's right. And again, that doesn't mean standing still. It means being smart. It means knowing when to act and when to hold. That's something Pelinka has shown he's willing to do, even when the pressure is sky high. And the pressure is going to be there this year. Anytime you've got LeBron James on your team, the expectation is a championship, not a second-round appearance, not a conference finals run, a title. And now, with Luka and Ayton in the mix, the standard has only gotten higher. This team was built to win now. They didn't trade for Luka to take 3 years figuring things out. They believe this group can contend today, and they're going to be judged based on whether or not they deliver. But that belief doesn't mean they'll act out of panic. There's a confidence within the organization right now, a sense that they've finally built a foundation strong enough to withstand the ups and downs of a regular season. That's why they can afford to be patient. That's why they're not rushing to add someone like Andrew Wiggins unless the deal truly makes sense. Because if the current group plays up to its potential, Wiggins becomes a luxury, not a necessity. And when that's the case, you control the narrative. You don't overpay. You don't chase. You negotiate from a position of power. At the same time, they know this isn't a league where you can stand pat forever. Things change fast. One injury, one losing streak, one chemistry issue, and suddenly your priorities shift. That's why the Lakers are doing their due diligence on every possible scenario. Whether it's adding a scoring guard off the bench, upgrading the wing rotation, or bringing in a more reliable backup big man, nothing is off the table. They're not locked into any one path. They're preparing for every outcome. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, Los Angeles is buzzing tonight with one of the most tantalizing rumors to hit the NBA offseason. Sources close to the league suggest that the Lakers may be gearing up for a blockbuster shakeup, potentially bringing in both Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins. If this actually comes to fruition, it would mark a seismic shift in the Western Conference and signal that the Lakers are aiming for nothing less than domination. The whispers started to circulate after anonymous insiders hinted that Los Angeles has been quietly working the phones, exploring options that could reunite LeBron James with a versatile forward like Grant, while also adding the athleticism and scoring punch that Wiggins could provide. Grant, known for his defensive tenacity and ability to stretch the floor, would fit seamlessly into the Lakers' rotation, offering a steady presence on both ends of the court. Meanwhile, Wiggins' high-flying style and experience in high-stakes playoff moments could inject the team with the kind of energy fans have been craving. While no official announcements have been made, the mere possibility has Lakers fans already daydreaming about what this duo could mean. Imagine Grant guarding the toughest wings in the league while Wiggins explodes in transition, giving LeBron and Anthony Davis even more space to operate. Analysts are speculating that such a move could create one of the most balanced rosters in recent memory, blending veteran leadership with explosive athleticism. Of course, as with all whispers in the NBA, there are questions about the logistics. Cap space, trades, and timing all play crucial roles, and insiders caution that nothing is guaranteed. Still, the buzz is impossible to ignore. Social media is alight with chatter, mock rosters are trending, and rival front offices are reportedly keeping a close eye on the developments in LA. Whether this rumor proves true or remains just that, a tantalizing what-if, the Lakers' ambitions are clear. They're willing to shake up the league, chase big names, and send a message to every contender that Los Angeles is serious about returning to championship glory. If Grant and Wiggins do land in purple and gold, the Lakers wouldn't just be contenders, they'd be a statement. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.